During the height of American slavery, the El Camino Real de los Tejas, one of the main trade routes between Texas and Mexico, was secretly used by freedom seekers escaping from Louisiana.
This path would have gone all the way towards freedom into Mexico.
In 1804, it was key to an armed resistance by enslaved people ready to fight for their freedom.
The group of slaves from the Natchitoches Parish region got together and decided they were going to make a break for Spanish territory. This happened amongst slaves from at least 6 different plantations. When they started out from the one plantation, as they traveled along and went to the other, then you would hear, letting the people know, hey, it's time to gather, it's time to go.
The organizers of the escape chose to use whistles as a signaling method, allowing people on different plantations to communicate undetected.
One of the biggest things that they did in the planning was to time out when they were going to leave. They left on a Sunday. The slave owners would have been at church, which bought the fugitives more time before they would have even been discovered as missing. At the last stop, they stole horses, they stole guns. That lets me know that they were willing to defend themselves. But right before they could get to Spanish territory, they were caught.
Punishment after recapture was swift and brutal.
They were brought into the town square, laid down, face down, tied up, and then whipped. They said whipped until they were bloody. I have been able to piece together this information based on largely Spanish documents. But to this day, there's still resistance to it.
The National Park Service has spearheaded the use of modern technology to highlight El Camino Real de los Tejas route taken by freedom seekers. This new imagery reinforces Rolanda's research. Now future generations will know the role the paths played in the Underground Railroad and the successes as well as the failures of those who took it in search of freedom.
I just took it on personally that my work would focus on adding the parts that have been left out all along. These are the kind of things I want to talk about so that my nieces and nephews growing up will know what contributions people of African descent made.
The freedom seekers who managed to evade capture and reach the U.S.-Mexico border still had to face one more deadly obstacle: the Rio Grande River.
Crossing the Rio Grande was a very dangerous feat. A lot of individuals often lost their lives trying to cross it.
But some did make it across. In 1936, the Library of Congress slave narrative testimony from Sally Rowe revealed that her father and 3 uncles reportedly crossed the Rio riding bales of cotton and paddling with sticks.
Keep it to the left.
Got it.
Members of Texar, a Texas-based search and rescue team, have witnessed firsthand the deadly risks and unseen dangers freedom seekers would have faced crossing into Mexico.
We're never going to win against Mother Nature. The power of the water, it's relentless. It's a hazard that's often underestimated.
Despite its incredible strength today, at one point the Rio Grande was even more menacing.
200 years ago, rivers like the Rio Grande were much more powerful, swift. If someone is swimming across the Rio Grande, the most deceptive part could be on the far shore, closest to freedom. Could be swifter current, could be deeper, as well as current can push you back out to the center, depending on conditions.
The southern routes taken by freedom seekers on the Underground Railroad were often deadly, and many perished crossing the Rio Grande trying to reach Mexico.
200 years ago, this river was so powerful, it would wash riverside ranches away.
But after risking life and limb to avoid capture, some freedom seekers with limited means still managed to survive this final stretch in the treacherous journey. Historian Roseanne Bachagarza is uncovering the complicated truth.
Across the river is Mexico. Where we are standing right now is Texas. During that period of time, slavery was still the law of the land, but freedom could be found just across the river. Steamboats were traveling up and down the river so that they could trade with the ranchers and the farmers in the region.
The trade network between farmers in Texas and Mexico is the perfect cover for an underground railroad route.
Freedom seekers also used ferry landings to cross the river to the other side.
And Roseanne has uncovered one Texas family on the border that helped make it happen.